I'm Katie Najat at the Wild Duck in Eugene, Oregon for the World Championships, and you're watching RunnerSpace Live.
Hey, can you believe it? We're back.
Back, baby, just
We're
like we
back.
never left.
Yeah, thank you so much, Katie, for opening up the show. She was a great guest yesterday. If you haven't checked out that episode, go ahead and do it. We're on to day 5. My partner in crime, Ian Terpin, is taking the day off, and I've got Billy Saveco, the Toad, right here alongside
What up, guys?
me.
What up? So happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me back.
Yeah, you've been all over the place. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you've been really taking advantage of your time here in Eugene. You got your Toad hat on. You even got a duck on your shirt.
Wild Duck official bartender shirt.
Official bartender. I guess you might be able to get your drinks from Billy. And there's a back to it as well. Perfect. So I actually heard you got to go in the stadium and got to meet a few cool people in your section.
Yeah, so I got the tickets that they're actually going to be able to win at the end of the show, I believe. Some VIP tickets. We were at the finish line, like 10 rows up. All you could eat, all you could drink. And what was cool about it was I sit down and I look over to my buddy Craig and go, that's RG3 sitting in front of me. And right next to us was Shelly Ann Fisher-Price's husband and kid and everything. And it was like, where are we? Saw Tony Dungy, quarterback, used to be the old coach of the Colts. It was truly awesome, and what a day. It was amazing.
Oh, man, yeah. I mean, you were in, like, the famous runner people section.
Oh, yeah. We saw Phil Knight up there with Matt Parker.
Oh, wow.
From our seats. So.
Yeah. I mean, and you're part of that famous runner section there, Billy. So, So anyways, those wonderful VIP tickets, we're going to be giving away some of those tonight in a contest later on. It'll be, pretty exciting what we have cooked up here with our very special guest. But before that, if you're one of those people that win those tickets to the competition, before the meet, it's very important to pregame or pre-funk, as some might say. And so before the meet, you're going to make sure you want to pregame with some, wait, I've got them in my pocket. Some beer tokens from the Wild Duck.
Oh, yeah, baby.
If you've been here, we've been passing some of these out to our winners there. So we've got these. Every question that you get right, you're going to receive one of these beer tokens. We have 3 contestants, and we have 2 questions for each. Now, this wouldn't be a true pregame if they weren't Prefontaine questions. So the Eugene legend himself is going to be the subject matter of this quiz. So without further ado, let me just mention the one rule. The one rule of this game is while answering these questions, you must wear a Prefontaine mustache. Billy?
Here we go, baby. We got these from the store down there. These are going to be sick. These are going to be sick.
You didn't hand make those?
No, yeah, these are actual real hair from my flow.
Oh, nice. very cool. Any comments on the mustaches while we bring up our first guest?
Well, we had the new day Craig Engels. He was here yesterday. He's the mustache man right now. But these are pretty cool. We brought these out for a Fortel 400 that we had at the South Eugene track, and every kid was actually racing in these mustaches.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
It was pretty cool. I think they just make you feel faster. This is not something in other sports that they might be like, oh, that's a thing. But in running, the mustache, stashies for nashies, it's a thing. It's a thing for all distance runners. Love a good mustache.
And especially when the guy himself donned it so well. So we're going to go ahead and have our first contestant come up. Whoever that might. Oh, here we go. Perfect. All right, so go ahead and hold this mic. You can stand right there.
All right, so
stand a little closer to the desk if you could.
These are questions about Prefontaine. You know who that is?
Okay.
So you have to wear a mustache.
Okay.
So pick your poison over here. This guy? All right, put it on there. What's your name? Andy? Yeah. Awesome. Do you know anything about Steve Prefontaine?
I hope I know enough.
Well, you do. Now
you officially know more wearing that mustache. Perfect. All right, well, let's start you off with our first question. Don't peek, because I'm reading it right off the screen. Okay. These are A, B, and C questions. Okay. How many American records did Steve Prefontaine hold? A, 7, B, 8, C, 10.
Let's go 8.
You're right. You're right.
There you go.
There you go. All right, that's one beer token for you.
Oh, beautiful.
All right, you have a chance to win one more.
Okay.
What American record did he break his senior year in high school? Was it A, the 1500, B, the 3K steeplechase, or C, the 2 mile?
C?
That's right. Woo. Well, what a relief. Now you can go drink.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it.
All right, next contestant. Come on up. Oh, wait, Andy. Don't stand too close, but stand right there. You're a winner. Wait, a little more forward. You're a winner.
There you go.
Okay. Woo.
I think we scared her.
Ow. Okay.
Burned the mustache right off of her.
Yeah. All right, next contestant.
All right, we're waiting for our next contestant to rise. Maybe they're growing their mustache. Maybe they have a real one.
Maybe they're trying to grow their own mustache before they come up here.
Yeah.
Any takers? Anyone? Maybe we should just look for someone. Oh, there's Peanut. Oh, we've got some giveaway swag. We've got extra add-ons here. Well.
Does Kylie have anyone that he's... Do you have any?
In theory.
Oh, they're right behind us the whole time.
Oh, come on up.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on up. All right, what's your name? Where are you
Max.
from?
I'm from Idaho.
Idaho.
All right,
welcome, Max.
You need a little lip sweater over here. So these are questions about Steve Prefontaine. Pick your sweater. Put it on there. You ever heard of Pre?
Yeah.
I hope so. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks good, baby. He grew that overnight.
Wow.
He grew that overnight.
That looks really good. Are you letting them choose their mustaches?
I am. They get to pick.
It's very nice.
That's a nice little Mario one right there, I think.
Yeah, it's a him.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, how many NCAA titles did Steve Prefontaine win as an Oregon Duck? Was it A, 7, B, 8, C, 10?
Let's go with 7.
You're right.
Ding, 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 ding.
Whoa,
All right,
man.
there we go. Got you for
These
one.
guys are on fire today. All right. Okay. Steve Prefontaine was born in which state? A, Kansas. B, Washington. C, Oregon. And I'll add another one. D, Idaho.
C, Oregon.
Oh,
You got
my
it.
gosh.
That was
These
a
are
gimme.
too easy, man. These are
These
too
are
easy.
too easy.
But
All
hey,
right.
get ready. Let it rip, baby.
You win. All right.
I think we scared him. We keep scaring people.
Sorry. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Appreciate
playing.
it. Let's see if your fellow over there is just as lucky as you.
Yep. All right. Last contestant.
Hi, brother. What's your name?
I'm Zach.
Are you from Idaho, too?
Yeah.
You have matching shirts, I can tell.
Yes,
All right,
yeah.
Zach, pick your stash, baby. This guy, ooh, he's going a little short guy.
Yeah.
Nice. You got to take off the sticker right there. I think there's a little stick to it, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Is it not working? Uh-oh. Got some wardrobe malfunctions over here.
Yeah. But you know we can't answer. We can't ask the questions until the mustache is
That's
on.
why everyone's getting them right.
Them's the rules.
They're bringing out their inner Pre. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's all right.
You can just hold it up to your face.
Maybe we pick another
hey,
one.
That guy's got a good mustache. All right. What? Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
What? Dun, dun, dun. What magazine put Pre on their front cover following his freshman year? Was it A, Track and Field News, B, Runner's World, C, Sports Illustrated?
Runner's World.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
Yeah, the mustache issue. Okay, how old was Pre when he competed in his first and only Olympics?
Good question.
Was he A, 21, B, 22, or C, 23?
Let's go 22.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. He was 21. He competed in the 5K in the 1972 Olympics in Munich. He was 2 years younger than everyone else in the field. But you know what? You didn't win beer tokens, but
We'll still give
you know,
some
on the
sparkles.
stage, everyone's a winner. Whee!
See you, brother. Thank you so
All
much.
right,
We appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
And you can keep that mustache. I don't know
Yes,
if
it
that's
was
a
falling off. I
good
feel so bad. Maybe
consolation
that's why
prize.
he didn't get it. He didn't have the real Pre.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
wasn't
true.
living it all.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so Speaking of Prefontaine, Billy, I understand you were able to take a visit across the river to the lovely, famous bark trail that bears his name.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Tell us a little more about that.
If you've never been there, you know, it was only my third time ever running there, and it's insane. You know, we did a big group run, and everyone was like, who's their first time was like, is this real?
Yeah.
It feels like there's a trampoline under there. It's super soft. You can smell the wood chips. It's
Right.
like, it's just awesome, and you are gonna see an Olympian or a pro runner if you run on there. Every time I've gone, I've seen at least 3 or 4. So it is truly an awesome experience. And we're going to give you a little deeper dive into that bad boy here on this next segment.
Very good. Let's take a look.
All right, I'm ready to rumble, baby. So what he was telling you is we're at Prees Trail, Eugene, Oregon, Alton Baker Park. We're going to show you, though, so take a look and check it out. But boom, here we are, baby, Prees Trail. This is awesome. Every track runner in the world should experience this at least once in their life. Where are we at? Eugene, Oregon. What do they say? Tracktown, USA, baby. That's what it's called. We're on Martin Luther King Road, right outside Hudson Stadium. That's where the Ducks fly on Saturday for their football game. Stadium's right there. It's 4.07 miles of 3 different loops of trails. Unreal. Check out the surface here. Oh my gosh. For me, the best part is the smell, because it smells amazing. It's so fresh, so soft, so bouncy, and not to mention, you'll probably see an Olympian if you run here. Just this morning, we saw Carissa Schweitzer, Elise Cranny, and Kellen Manley. That was just one day. We've seen several Olympians and amazing runners here throughout the last week. So, it's called Prees Trail. Steve Prefontaine, an amazing runner. The mustache is... He used to go to the University of Oregon, and he used to train here. And when he graduated, he got good, started going to Europe, overseas, and he was running on all these beautiful trails and surfaces and track facilities. And then when he came back, he's like, why don't we have any of this? So he came back over from Scandinavia. He talked to local officials of Lane County, Bill Bowerman, and the Oregon Track Club, and he's like, let's make something happen. He said, where do you want this, Pre? They said, how about Alton Baker Park? They host a lot of cross-country meets. Part of the Oregon Marathon is on this trail every single year. So Prees Trail came around 1975, but unfortunately, that's the year he passed away. 4 months after his death, the trails were open. They had a local race to commemorate him for the beautiful life that he lived and all the people he inspired. Over 500 people showed up and ripped Prees Trail.
Truly a one-of-a-kind place in Tracktown, USA. If you're a runner, you gotta make it a point to get here one time in your life and rip Prees Trail.
Hello and welcome back in. Here we are, Billy. Man, that was pretty cool. nice little trip over there across the river.
Yeah, it's awesome. Again, if you are a runner and you've never run there, it's like you gotta come and try it out. Tracktown USA is that for a reason. It's not only the Hayward field, it's not only the running fans, but it's so many facilities and trails, and it's forever, and it's awesome. So if you've never been here, make sure you get here. And if you're in town right now, come join us at the Wild Duck, but also get your butt over there in the morning for a run.
Yeah, go jog it up over there.
Why not?
It's a very special place for me. I grew up here, like all of my childhood memory runs over there.
Oh yeah.
Very sweet. A great tribute to an Oregon legend. And coming up next, we have we have a legend in the making. Trey Cunningham is going to join us.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know how we got so lucky. Stay tuned for that. We're going to have a lot of fun with him right after this break.
Gotta love Trey. Can't wait for
Gotta
this.
love him. Yeah. $1.
Ah, good.
Oh, hey, jerk, give me that. I'm saving up for RunnerSpace Plus subscription. This baby put me over the top.
I wouldn't pay for that. I don't like to support stuff. Woo, stinky.
Dude, do you always throw away your socks? That's your Plus subscription right there.
Seriously?
With a Plus subscription, you'll gain access to all our live webcasts and the largest archive of running videos anywhere on the planet. Or you could just be like him.
He steps into the ring for his final attempt. He'll need a big throw to regain the lead. It's looking good. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app. Sorry, it all happened so fast.
Everybody, Trey Cunningham.
Let's go.
All right.
In the house.
Thank you so much for joining us. What a treat. One of the all-time greats at Florida State. He owns a 13.00 personal best in the 110 hurdles, and now he owns a silver medal. Welcome in, Trey. Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me. I mean, it's great to be here in lovely Eugene for the third time in a month.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we capped it off with a medal.
Yeah. I mean, you have so many accomplishments already to your name at such a young age. NCAA hurdle champ. You were the indoor scholar athlete of the year, track and field news athlete of the year, Bowerman finalist.
Did you even know some of those?
Did you even know this? These are all great. Second fastest time in NCAA history. And do you think that silver medal makes the top of the list here?
I think it's a good accolade to put on there. Of course, I wanted the gold medal, but not too bad for first World Championships.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking. It gives you something to strive for there.
Yeah. So you basically just went pro. Like you said, you were just running NCAAs. Now you're a pro. Do you think you've run in big meets, but I don't know, internationally, this is huge. Do you think it was like, a better transition to have that first major meet be right at home, a place you've, like you said, run 2 or 3 times this year already, if not more in the past?
Of course, everybody at the hotel was like, the crowd is insane.
Yeah.
Anytime a U.S. athlete is introduced,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, no matter what their accomplishments have been, it's an all-out. The whole stadium is erupting, especially on the finals day. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I had the pleasure of meeting Trey way back, 10th, 11th, 12th grade.
Yeah.
He was tearing it up.
When he was a little whippersnapper.
Yeah, Winfield, Alabama, right? So if you guys don't know, there's only 4,800 people there. That's the population, smallest town out there. And, are you a big deal down there? Are they going to put billboards up? You just took a silver medal, and, if you're coming from a town like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, that town has supported me since day one of me starting track.
Yeah.
I would be out there on the weekends, trying to get better, and people would always honk the horn going past and stuff. But as I've progressed, that entire town has really been behind me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's cool. It's more of a family when you're connected. I worked at the Armory in New York City. There's 8 million people there.
Yeah.
To make an impact, and they don't know that, but right here they're seeing you. Like you said, at practice, driving by honking. I think that it's also really cool that I just lost my train of thought there.
Well, I will say this: the amount of silver medalists per capita in your town
it's
is
amazing.
Probably the highest in the country.
It's amazing.
I would say.
It probably is. We had some pretty good talent, football-wise. That town's known for some pretty good sports, but I think this is the first world medal that's coming to that town.
Yeah, why Florida from Alabama,
I had to be different. Mom played basketball at Bama.
Okay.
And then my family's big time SEC. It's either Alabama or Auburn.
Wow.
There was no other choice.
You had to break the mold, huh?
Right, and of course I had to be different. I didn't play football. I didn't want to play baseball, so I was like, let's run track, and then let's go down to Florida and get kind of close to the beach and do different stuff.
You were tearing it up, like I said, all of high school. But was there a time when you were like, wow? I remember again watching these videos. You were 10 meters in front of people in the 60 hurdles indoors.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you even do that? You're halfway down and people are still in the blocks. When did you find out wow, I'm kind of good at this thing?
I would say the first time it really set in that I could be pretty good would be my freshman year. I kind of got hurt because I was going a little too fast. And then I kind of got
that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, and then I got older and I started developing, and I would probably say my junior year, things started to really click. The times were dropping pretty well, and then I actually dropped a 13:35, I think, my junior year.
That's telling.
Yeah, so I was I think I'm gonna make this a thing. We're gonna make this a career. So it has snowballed from there.
Right. Very cool.
Awesome.
Did you, at the beginning of the year, did you see yourself here? I mean, was this I think I'm gonna medal at Worlds. That's most likely what will happen.
That was always the goal.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, the World Championship final was the pinnacle of the season. And we used the previous championships, NCAAs and U.S. championships, set that up because making the U.S. team was actually harder than making this final.
Oh yeah, no.
Right.
We were gonna get into that. I also said how do you, as an NCAA athlete, it's impressive you guys are going, you have indoors is hard, then you're doing all these conferences, NCAAs, USAs, Worlds. Like, you have a lot longer season than some of these, like, pros that are just focused right now on Worlds, right?
Yeah. I mean, if some of those professionals run a full indoor season, it's probably going to work out about the same, like, because I only run the hurdles at Florida State.
Okay.
I didn't have to do the 4x1 or the 200 or the 4x4 like Abby. I felt my heart goes out to Abby. This is probably like race 205. Like, my girl's been running. She's been running well. But I still feel fresh. Like, I'm still going to continue the season throughout the Diamond Leagues and hopefully finish that out.
I saw Devin or Omar McLeod before in their career. They have they've run 100 or they've done different events. Have you ever done that? And would you ever do that? And what would you think you'd be able to drop in like a 100-meter dash open? No hurdles.
We've been running some pretty fast stuff. Like, most of my training is speed work.
Yeah.
We actually stay off the hurdles a good bit.
Oh, really? Okay.
But if we get a bye one year, I think I might dabble in the 100. Might see if I can go below 10.
Sub 10, yeah, that's got to be the goal.
It's not going to be anything like too crazy, like a 9.7 or anything.
Yeah.
But like if I get like a 9.99 or 9.98, don't be surprised.
All right.
Heck yeah. I love that. So, you know, we're focused on you for the first part of this. There's some crazy stuff that happened in that final. How did you maintain your composure? You know, everyone's oohing and on, and there's people running around, and you had probably like an extra 5 to 10, maybe 15-minute delay. How did you focus on your race and yourself?
I mean, this was the pinnacle of the season, like I said. So, I mean, I couldn't let anything get in that way. So I was just locked in from jump. Like, it had to be my lane or no lane. No matter what happens, like even in my semi, I broke a hurdle. I didn't even know I broke a hurdle.
Oh, I didn't know that
like
either.
I snapped it in half.
Really?
Go look back at
it
snapped. Like it goes, breaks right open.
Damn.
I didn't know it happened. So I mean, it was like that laser focus.
Adrenaline too, probably, right?
And then, but the things that happened, like Hansel getting hurt, and then Devin's false start that I don't agree with personally.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's the rules we have to play by. And I think Hansel's kind of, like, woke me up just a little bit. I was like, all right, I'm lucky to be here because that can happen to anybody.
Yep.
But at the same time, it kind of detached me from the race because there's a lane in between. And I can't look over 2 or 3 lanes to see what's going on.
Right, yeah.
And then Devin gets pulled out. And so I was like, all right, it's a drag race. It's a time trial between me and Grant.
Yep.
And it's probably not what people wanted to see. Everyone wanted to see the sweep, just like they did in the shot and then the other events.
100,
we were trying to get it done, and we could have got it done. But it all goes back to, like, it's your lane. You have to focus on it. No one affects that lane unless they fall in a dramatic fashion into it. But more than likely, that's not going to happen. So how you execute it is how your race is going to go. No one else is going to bother it.
I think it's a good thing you had a positive first experience. I know some people, not to feel bad for this, but like Donovan Brazier, you know, American record, world champion, but he has never made it like the Olympics. He always has something happen and come up. You know, I think Daniel Roberts has some problems in championship races as you know, on the Olympic stage or world stage as well, and he didn't make it because he fell on a hurdle back in the earlier rounds. So I think you having a positive experience for your first time, hopefully will keep that ball rolling for you. Next time you come, you're like, I've been here, I've done this, this is my time. What's something you're excited for to watch? Now you get to relax. You're at the Wild Duck, some friends and family are here. You know, what are some of the races or events you're looking forward to watching?
The 1500 is always one of my favorite races to watch. I
Did
watched
you
that
see
tonight.
That today?
Yeah. It was a nice race. I always said if I didn't run anything, like I would do the 15 or like long jump. Those are my favorite things to watch for some reason. I don't know why, but I think the 1500, it's so fast and it's so tactical at the same time. It makes it a very entertaining, like the back and forth between all of the athletes makes it super exciting. So I like to watch that. I'm really excited for these 400s. I think something interesting can happen out of those. And then, of course, I have a favorite, the 100 hurdles for the women. The 100 hurdles women has been notoriously phenomenal at the world stage for like the past 10 years. So anything can happen with these women. They're running record-breaking times nationally and like around the world. So don't be surprised if someone dips into like a 12-2.
Yeah.
What's your prediction? If you had a can we call you out for your prediction on that women's 100 hurdles?
I'm not gonna make a prediction on that one. No.
Okay.
No, that one's too tight for me.
Pressure. Giving him too much pressure there.
All right, great. Well, yeah, as we're talking about all this great stuff going on, we had a great day of action here, and it wouldn't be an episode of RunnerSpace Live without the RunnerSpace rundown. Billy and I are going to recap the news, and Trey, of course, you're our expert. You know way more about running than we ever will, so weigh in when you feel so inclined. Leading off today, we had the women's 400-meter hurdles. Of course, that's one of the marquee events here. Sydney and Delilah, they advanced through. Femke Bull had the top time, running 53.9 seconds. As a hurdler yourself, how fun is it to watch them?
I mean, the 400 hurdles in general, that's just a tough race, man. It takes everything you got to finish that race, even if it's a prelim. But for this one, don't count out Bull. Like, she's a stud. She finished that mixed 4x4 in an insane fashion. Like, if she had 2 more meters, she would have got it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you said it was the marquee event for the next few days, and it definitely will be because it's going to be a record.
Right.
That's crazy. I think I've been able to see the last 2 or 3 world records because I was there in Doha to see Delilah. And then Sydney broke it again, and then she broke it in Nashville when I was there just a couple weeks ago, and then at trials or U.S. Championships.
Commonplace now.
Yeah, so I'm like, I got to get in there tomorrow, even if it's that race, because it's every time is a world record. She almost had the world record, and the hurdles were off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
So
how nuts?
It's crazy. But next over to the high jump, it was awesome. High jump, we got the Aussie Eleanor Patterson bringing home that gold. She jumped 2:02. That's a national record for her. Highly impressive. I love watching the high jump. I think it's real fun. Just to see those people get over there. We're always like, how high is that? You think they can jump over there? You think they can jump over that?
And the atmosphere in here, I will say, like having been to a lot of meets here at Hayward, that was probably the most fun I've seen it for those high jumps. Like getting the whole crowd clapping. It's just the focus is all on those jumpers. Man, it's
crazy.
blast.
It always makes me think I can't even touch, I can barely dunk a basketball, and these people are getting their whole entire body over some of that thing. You had Ukrainian Yaroslava Mechuich, she jumped 2:02 there too for second place, silver medal, and then Eleanor Valatorgara 2 flat 2.00. That's a season best for her from Italy. It was amazing for those girls to just go out there and compete, and I think it's cool just to be here. The weather's perfect. Everything's perfect.
It's all perfect.
It's all perfect.
Speaking of perfect, you know what's perfect? Making the final. And these ladies in the 200 did that. Leading the semifinals with the fastest time, Sharika Jackson led 3 out of the top 5 were Jamaicans. Again, like the Jamaicans in the sprints this year for the women, just insane. Threatening for another sweep there in the 200. So that'll be really exciting to see what happens there.
Yeah, next over the discus. I don't understand how you throw this. I don't know how this is an event. I've been trying to throwing it. I can play Frisbee, but
I've gotten them to show me how to throw it, and I still don't
really?
understand.
No. I don't know how to do it. I think it would be better like this.
Agreed.
Yeah, but you had Christian J. He got that gold medal. It was amazing. 7:1.13. That's a record, a championship record. And I love when people rise to the top during the championships. Yeah, they do it at other meets, but when they got that adrenaline, they got the Hayward magic, as they call it over here. So I think that adds to that. So to have a gold with a championship record is awesome. You got Mikolas Alink. He did 69.27 for second from Lithuania, and he had his teammate from Lithuania with the bronze there. He had Arias Gudis with 67.55 for the bronze. Do you ever know any of the American discus throwers there?
Not except they're on my team. I know those people.
Those ones?
I'm just amazed by the throwers in general, especially the ones that have to spin.
The
like,
strength, yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's like ballet type balance. And
if you watch the
strength.
The technique and then the strength that they have. Like, you can just look on these guys' Instagrams, and the women too. Like, they are warming up with double my body weight. And doing insanely explosive stuff. So I think they could get people for at least the first 10 meters up the block. I swear.
So I went to school with Joe Kovacs, and he always told me I can beat any sprinter or jumper in the first like 10 steps. He goes, if there was like a 20-meter dash or 20-yard dash, he's like, that's me. Then after that, the 325 pounds catches up very quick.
Yeah, inevitably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so amazing event there. And then one of the other really fun things to watch here is the U.S. contingent in the 200s, of course, led by Noah Lyles and Arian Knighton. They've just been kind of top three. Americans took the top three qualifying spots today. And, man, that rivalry has been really fun to watch ever since the USA champs. Leading up to an incredibly exciting finals that we're going to have for us. So
I was going to ask you something about that. You know, distance runners are all kind of friends. Even you want to win, but after they're hugging each other, after seeing Noah Lyles and Knighton go back at it, and he was pointing at him, I remember they didn't even want to be on the same camera during the interview. I think that was kind of crazy, but I kind of think it was cool because it was kind of the superhero villain kind of back to back. Do you enjoy that kind of rivalry, or do you like? I mean, you want to be friends, but.
I mean, every classic story has a superhero and a villain.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps coming back for it. They love it. I think track and field needs more storyline like that. I think they need more rivalries. I cannot say that word.
Rivalry. Yeah,
there you go.
It's a tough one.
I think we need more of that. I think it brings attention to the sport. I think it brings positive attention. Like, it gets people interested. Like, they want to see it happen, and it makes people pick a side, like who they want to see win.
Is that something that we can ask you? Are you more of a rivalry, or are you more friends with these guys?
I call it a playful banter.
Okay.
Until we get the blocks set. Once the blocks are set, we're not friends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get you at the line.
Right.
I mean,
you're in the zone. You're
breaking
hurdles.
Yeah. I mean, over in warm up today, back to like Noah and Arian, like this lady was heckling Noah because she was all in on Arian.
From the stand, from like the stand.
Yes.
What?
And it was great. Like,
and I loved it.
It was great because it was like more than just the quiet warm-up area that we're used to, and just the people over there on the rail just like casually watching.
Yeah.
She was like in it, and it made it exciting.
It reminds me of baseball games because they're so quiet. You can hear, come on, like you can hear the fan yell at the pitch, and that's pretty cool. I want to see more of that. I don't know how you can turn it off and on though. I get kind of scared with. I'm pretty fly all the way. You know, I see Devin doing the jokes, but to be able to narrow down and like get into it when that gun goes off.
Well, some people use that to focus.
Oh,
I think a great example is Usain Bolt. Like, everyone thought he was a great jokester as well.
Yeah.
That's his way to focus and like make everyone else kind of freak out because he's not taking it serious.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mechanism that you can use. I mean, people.
A tip there for young sprinters out there.
Right. I have like built-in talk time in my warm-up just because like that's what I do.
Really?
And it helps me focus. Like I'm talking to all the people I see. We're getting hugs and stuff.
Oh heck yeah.
But people get caught off guard because I'm not like headphones in, like I'm locked in, mean mugging people. But I'm just like airy, like happy to be here. I found that I run better that way. So I just continue to do it, and then once we get on the track, it is business.
Yeah, sweet. Well, speaking of business, the 1500 was all business, and yeah, we had the battle of the Jakes, I guess, or a Jakob and a Jake.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. I could not believe what I was seeing there. I've seen Jake Whiteman race a lot.
Yeah.
But I've never seen him quite have a kick like that.
Never.
And I mean, taking down Ingebrigtsen on the biggest stage, that was something pretty wild. I mean, you say you're a 1500 fan.
Yeah.
What were you thinking as that race was playing out?
I think that's the epitome of why we show up and race.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone always is like, this is the favorite going in. They're the world lead. They get a special bib, all that stuff. And then everyone has to show up on the day. That is why we do the sport. That's why everyone loves the sport. It's because you can be beaten on the day, no matter what happens. Like someone can get hurt. For instance, our event, the hurdles, someone gets hurt or someone gets pulled from the event. It's the same situation. Whiten had a great day.
Oh yeah, that race was out real hot. It was 151 through the 800. Then the third lap was 56 seconds, and they just kept it rolling. It was a 329 too. Like I couldn't even understand that. I ran that event probably like 50 seconds slower, but I can't even imagine that. And I love when a big fast race happens. I am not a big fan of the championship races that sometimes happen, not in the sprints, but in distance. How Central's won his gold.
Like a sit and kick.
Yeah, sit and kick. Like I could have been in the Olympic final back then until the last lap when they would have almost lapped me in the last lap.
But not even possible.
Yeah, is it? I don't know. It would have been.
Yes.
But like I love to see that fast pace out. When you have Timmy Cheerio in there, you got Jacob Ingebrigtsen. Those guys are always pushing out hard.
Right.
And I think.
Yeah, it was special. And in Kenya, surprisingly, like shutout of medals. I mean, that's you almost never see.
No.
You almost always see Kenyans up there in the top 3. So that was a pretty wild race. And yeah, let's move on. Let's keep it moving here because we've got a special competition.
Oh my gosh.
We've got one last race to talk about. So in the men's 400-meter hurdles, Billy, what happened there?
I don't know. I don't know what to think. You know, I don't know what happened to the world record. What happened to the Olympic champion?
A lot changes in a year. That was wild. Yeah.
And then you got the guy from Ashland. What's his name?
Trevor Bassett.
My
roommate.
Is he a roommate right now?
My roommate.
Your roommate?
Yes.
Wow, this is good. We have inside info. I didn't even know that.
So tell us everything.
Tell us
I
everything.
do think what was
What's
cool
his pre-race ritual?
Yesterday was Katie Nishad on the show.
Yeah.
And then he won. So now this small D2 college in Ohio has 2 world medals. Like what? They're just breeding them out here. That's incredible.
I mean, it's a testament to all the work they put in. I mean, goes across the board, like D1, D2, D3, NIA, all the above. Like, you still have to put in the work, no matter the talent you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, though, facilities make that a lot funner, I should say. Yeah, they make it a lot easier.
For sure. Allison Dos Santos won the race in 46.29 seconds.
Yeah.
And Rai Benjamin taking silver. It was, I think the U.S. crowd was really wanting to see him take the win here, but
for sure.
had to sell for silver. So the Brazilian there, Dos Santos, taking the win. So with that said, thanks for weighing in on the RunnerSpace rundown. Much appreciated your insight. Just as Ian is taking a break today here as host, I got to take a break yesterday, and I was able to, I decided not to rest, and in fact to come right back down here and check out the show from behind the scenes, from the eyes of our lovely fans back here, and just kind of see what that was like. So let's take a look at that. Hello, everyone. It's my night off, but I just couldn't stay away. I have my night off Fun Guy shirt on. It has Fun Guy on it. Ian's over there on the stage about ready to do the show without me. I just want to get a behind-the-scenes look of what it's really like to watch the show. All right, this is pretty exciting. The fireworks are about to go off. I have not seen the fireworks from this angle. Wow. All right. Did you guys like that? Was that cool?
That was very cool. That was so cool.
Hey, do you think these guys are funny up here?
These 2 up here?
Yeah.
I don't know much about them, but I'm betting they are.
Yeah, me too. I don't know much about them either, but they look. Do you think they look funny?
Yeah.
In what sense?
The outfits, for sure.
Their outfits. Well, Billy, that toad over there. How are you liking the ambiance so far here at the Wild Duck?
It's very good. Yeah, we got a beer.
Maybe I'll go get a beer.
You should.
Maybe that'll be the last question I ask everyone. Should I go get a beer? And for everyone that answers yes, I'll get a beer.
It's gonna be all yeses.
You have two votes right here.
Oh, this is 2. This counts for 2. Perfect. Go this way. Hey, are you guys liking the show so far?
Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely.
What's been your favorite part so far?
Well, just watching Craig Engels just chatting it up with all these people, right?
He's a very personable guy. Do you think he'll just stay up there?
I think you should jump up and say.
Are you enjoying the show? I saw you taking a selfie up there with one of our anchors.
Selfie? I'm not familiar with the term.
Okay. Oh, there's an Ussie, I think, is when there's multiple. And who's your favorite host up there? Are you more of a Billy guy or an Ian guy?
He's about the frog. I think it's called the frog. I love the frog guy.
Frog.
Yeah.
Last question. Do you think I should get a beer?
A beer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got you one, brother.
Oh, you did?
I'll trade you. All right, now I'm doing the interviewing here.
If you had to choose between the show and Connect 4, I guess the answer is kind of Connect 4, but what would you say?
Play. This is a real estate play. Right. If we could hang out and hear you guys, it'd be great.
Maybe we should move the show closer to Connect 4. Would that help with our viewership?
That'd be great.
Founder of RunnerSpace, Ross Crimpley. How's it going? How you feel like the vibe is?
Look at this. Look at this crowd.
we might spill all the way over back into Hayward. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's
the goal.
That's the goal. I can't help but notice you're not watching the show.
I watch the show every morning when I wake up.
Now, be honest, Ross. Was it the Connect 4 that drew you away from our show?
I'll do Connect 4, but cornhole's my vibe.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you. It's just a pleasure. A pleasure. I can't believe you agreed to this.
I didn't. Erase all of it.
I didn't. Oh, we'll put it in. Hi. Hello. Hey. Oh my God, sparklers. What do you think of those? Yeah.
They're pretty awesome.
Okay.
I want some in my front yard.
John, hi. Did you know you were going to walk right into an interview?
It was all planned.
You know RunnerSpace Live is back?
It's back?
It's back.
The band's back together?
Yeah, Ian's over there on the stage. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Is this your first night at the Wild Duck here?
It is. Yeah. It's a seasonal debut.
This is kind of like the prelims for you. Do you think you're going to make it to the semifinals?
Yeah, this is the warm-up. I feel good. I feel ready.
How much do you think you're going to have to drink to make it to the semifinals?
5 beers.
5 beers. God, I can't wait for the finals. He's closing out the show like a pro. Signing out. Ian, the show just finished up. How was it out there, man? How did that go for you?
Oh, that was an awful one tonight.
It's funny, we were going around interviewing people, asking,
and this has been the consensus? Oh no, I was kidding.
Hey Ian, do you want to go get a beer with me?
Oh yeah.
You said yes. 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 You're not Ian.
Yes, I'd love to.
So I'd like 36 beers, 1 tequila shot, 3 pitchers. And then I was also going to buy Ian Terpin a beer because he did such a good job tonight.
So I'll just take 1.
Oh, okay. All right, that's it for Behind the Scenes from the Wild Duck. I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to me right over there at that chair. Hello and welcome back. We're back here and we've got our 2 contestants ready to dance off. Now again, these are for VIP finish line tickets. The best seats for all evening sessions are still available at worldathletics.daimani.com. And you can search Cadence Club Oregon 22 also to find that. If you already have a ticket, you can upgrade to VIP hospitality experience to beat the crowds, beat the summer heat, and enjoy the open bar and all-inclusive experience. Now, I'm sending it down to our one and only MC, Billy, and he's going to just let you know what's up. I think Trey is going to be our judge because I hear he's a very, very good dancer. Though he's not going to dance, but he just knows a lot about dancing. Okay, Billy.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's my favorite time of every evening. We're giving away VIP tickets. What do you get? All you can eat, all you can drink, and their finish line seats, 5th row up, 10th row up, something like there. It's amazing. Who do we have? We have two competitors, and we're going to do a dance-off for these tickets. Where are you from, and what's your name?
From San Diego. My name is Dre.
All right, Big Dre from San Diego.
It's Chelsea, Eugene, Oregon, baby.
Oh, hometown girl, let's go.
All right.
Oh. And then we're going to have Trey Cunningham make that decision. What do you know about dancing?
I got some good rhythm. I mean, we need that for hurdles.
Okay, perfect judge, perfect judge. To make things fair, we're going to do a rock, paper, scissors, shoot to decide who goes first. All right, let it go. Oh. All righty, you're up first, Chelsea. Here we go, cue that music. 15 seconds of dancing. We're going to do 15 seconds here.
All right, here we go.
Oh, she's getting the, oh. Hey.
All right.
And we're going to cut it. All right, so you've seen it. Let's give it up for her one time. Give it up for her one time. Let's give it up for her one time. All right, next up on the books, we got the one and only Dre from SD. Dre, you ready for this?
Let's see what I can do.
All righty.
She set the bar high, but let's see what I can do.
All right. When you hear that music, let it rip, man. Super smooth. Uh-oh. Oh.
Hey, is that allowed? Is that even allowed?
And cut it, and cut, and cut, and cut. All right, the time has come. Mr. Trey, who do you think got the winner? VIP tickets for tomorrow.
I don't know. Everybody was extra groovy on that beat. I think Dre got it, though.
Uh-oh. We got to give it to Dre. Matt, we got us some.
Oh my. Oh, wait. Actually, we're just going to sign out the show because we're running super long. Hey, get on up here. We want our winner. We want Billy. We want Trey. We're going to sign out the show. Get up on stage.
Come on up, Dre. Hear it for Dre.
All right, everybody. We're just going to raise our arms in the air, and we're going to sign out the show. Ready? All right. This is RunnerSpace Live signing
out, baby.
out.
Let it rip.
Goodbye. Ooh, $1.
Ah, good.
Oh, hey, jerk, give me that. I'm saving up for RunnerSpace Plus subscription. This baby put me over the top.
I wouldn't pay for that. I don't like to support stuff. Woo, stinky.
Dude, do you always throw away your socks? That's your Plus subscription right there.
Seriously?
With a Plus subscription, you'll gain access to all our live webcasts and the largest archive of running videos anywhere on the planet. Or you could just be like him.
He needs to improve 3 centimeters to get back in front. And here's the approach. He's got great speed. Takeoff looks good. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
How dare you?
Sorry.
Here's the final handoff. They were a little shaky in the prelims, but they get away clean here. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app. Athletic TV brings you the largest collection of instructional videos for coaches and athletes on the planet. Learn from top industry professionals in over 40 sports and fitness categories. Sign up today at athletic.tv and get 14 days free. 6th and final round of the competition. She needs a big one here to get on the podium. Look at that release. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
Save my cat!
I got it.
He passed on the last height, leaving everything up to this 3rd and final attempt. Here's the takeoff. Beautiful form. Can he get there? Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
You need to get your hips up.
Steps into the ring for his final attempt. He'll need a big throw to regain the lead. It's looking good. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
Sorry, it all happened so fast.
Ooh, $1.
Ah, good.
Oh, hey, jerk, give me that. I'm saving up for RunnerSpace Plus subscription. This baby put me over the top.
I wouldn't pay for that. I don't like to support stuff. Woo, stinky.
Dude, do you always throw away your socks? That's your Plus subscription right there.
Seriously?
With a Plus subscription, you'll gain access to all our live webcasts and the largest archive of running videos anywhere on the planet. Or you could just be like him.
He needs to improve 3 centimeters to get back in front. And here's the approach. He's got great speed. Takeoff looks good. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
How dare you?
Sorry.
Athletic TV brings you the largest collection of instructional videos for coaches and athletes on the planet. Learn from top industry professionals in over 40 sports and fitness categories. Sign up today at athletic.tv and get 14 days free. Here's the final handoff. They were a little shaky in the prelims, but they get away clean here. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app. He steps into the ring for his final attempt. He'll need a big throw to regain the lead. It's looking good. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
Sorry, it all happened so fast.
Sixth and final round of the competition. She needs a big one here to get on the podium. Look at that release. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
Ooh, $1.
Ah, good.
Oh, hey, jerk, give me that. I'm saving up for RunnerSpace Plus subscription. This baby put me over the top.
I wouldn't pay for that. I don't like to support stuff. Woo, stinky.
Dude, do you always throw away your socks? That's your Plus subscription right there.
Seriously?
With a Plus subscription, you'll gain access to all our live webcasts and the largest archive of running videos anywhere on the planet. Or you could just be like him.
Save my cat!
Whoa, I got it.
He passed on the last height, leaving everything up to this third and final attempt. Here's the takeoff. Beautiful form. Can he get there? Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
You need to get your hips up.
He needs to improve 3 centimeters to get back in front. And here's the approach. He's got great speed. Takeoff looks good. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
How dare you!
Sorry.
Athletic TV brings you the largest collection of instructional videos for coaches and athletes on the planet. Learn from top industry professionals in over 40 sports and fitness categories. Sign up today at athletic.tv and get 14 days free. Here's the final handoff. They were a little shaky in the prelims, but they get away clean here. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app. He steps into the ring for his final attempt. He'll need a big throw to regain the lead. It's looking good. Feeling athletic? Get the Athletic app.
Sorry, it all happened so fast.
Ooh, $1.
Ah, good.
Oh, hey, jerk, give me that. I'm saving up for RunnerSpace Plus subscription. This baby put me over the top.
I wouldn't pay for that. I don't like to support stuff. Woo, stinky.
Dude, do you always throw away your socks? That's your Plus subscription right there.
Seriously?
With a Plus subscription, you'll gain access to all our live webcasts and the largest archive of running videos anywhere on the planet. Or you could just be like him.
Athletic TV brings you the largest collection of instructional videos for coaches and athletes on the planet. Learn from top industry professionals in over 40 sports and fitness categories. Sign up today at athletic.tv and get 14 days free.
Okay, hi everybody, and thank you very much for joining us again. Today is day 5 of the track championships, and it's kind of hard to believe that we are already here on day 1. And I want to thank RunnerSpace and Wild Duck Cafe for having us again. So for those who don't know me, I'm Jimson Lee. You may know me from my blog, speedendurance.com. I'm also a coach and masters runner. And to my left, I have Frank Dick. Frank is the chair of the Global Athletics Coaching Academy, as well as the president of our European Athletics Coaching Association. Welcome, Frank.
Yeah, good to be here.
Thanks. So I think I want to remind everybody that the reason why we're here at the World Athletics Championship, we have the Oregon 22 Coaches Club, and that's at the School of Music, or the Beale Concert Hall, right about 4-minute walk from the stadium. We're there from 8 to 9:30 in the morning, and from 12:30 to 2:30. So if you live in Eugene, please come on by and join us. We're also on Zoom, and you can join us remotely as well. So Frank, maybe talk a bit about the Coaches Club first, and why we're here doing this.
Yeah, well, the Global Athletics Coaching Academy was formed at the request of Seb Coe. He had this idea of creating a body from the coaching community to take care of all athletics coaching related matters, and to facilitate necessary change. And I think, as I said the first time we were together, there's a lot of change has to take place out there to properly establish and position coaches where they should be in the sport. Now, one of the things that we tried to do is to create opportunities for the coaching community to come together, if not on site at championships like this, then virtually. So we have over 1,000 people from around the world, from South Korea to Australia to New Zealand, Pacific Islands, all the way down to South America, and they're tuning in and to get the benefit of coaching points from world-class coaches from, again, either virtually or on site, to take the experience of athletics to them, because a lot of these guys out there will never ever have a chance to come to glorious venues like this for world championships. So it's our job to try to take the club, the experience and education to them.
No, absolutely. And I think today's program on the agenda, it's called Making Excellence Possible. And with all the changes that's happening and all the things that we're trying to do, you know, we need to start working on these things. And the first thing I want to address is that social media is very dangerous. It's everyone now has a two-way TV set. It's no longer a one-way TV set. And what happens is that bad news, negative news gets multiplied horrifically. So I want to talk about, you know, coaches getting suspended. I want to talk about the coaching language. How can we help the coaches these days, Frank?
Okay, in terms of coach's language, one of the most important things or skills that a coach must have is the ability to observe and to connect. In other words, when we are out there in the field, we've got to be able to look at things and understand its meaning so that we can get the right coaching information over to the athlete. But in doing that, you've got to get your language right. So let me give you an example. A long time ago, I was coaching a young lad called Cameron Sharp. And I was doing, and okay, don't criticize me. At that point, I was a young coach. I was saying to this athlete, drive off the bend in the 200 meters, you know, because he was losing form, losing contact at the point. And I was saying this to him, but Don Quarry happened to be in the stadium at the same time, and he came across to me and he said, Frankie, don't say drive, say lift. And so you used this word to him, and it transformed things straight away. And so the lesson from that to me is this, is that coaches have got to work out what a word means to the athlete. But in coaching, normally we're trying to give, if you like, a kinesthetic language, aren't we? We want athletes to feel something so that they can deliver that in movement. And so coming back to the point, can we get our language right in this? And it can be let me give you a simple example. We're working with a couple of rugby coaches a few years ago. And the session was finished. We had a hot debrief at the end of it, and one of the coaches said, "Hey, you know, Jimson across there. I just told him he had to be braver out there." And the other coach says, "I wouldn't like you saying that to me." He said, "Why is that?" "I think you were calling me a coward." And so I thought, gee, let's know our athletes and know the words they understand.
No, absolutely. And coaches are people, athletes are people, and we need to have a method to resolve conflict. What can you suggest about conflict resolution?
Well, conflict, one of the big problems I find with coach education and development at the moment is that very few systems really examine the people skills of coaching. So managing stress, conflict resolution, relationship management, learning to learn. I mean, I don't know if anybody ever had a chat with you about how you could learn in life, but a lot of kids and even coaches today, they get at the lowest level of learning, which is learning to repeat. But we want coaches to learn, to reach out and learn things. So when it comes to conflict resolution, one of the big issues, of course, is that we coaches are very opinionated. We are. And we are going through a difficult time at the moment where maybe in former times we would shout at an athlete and demand that something's done. Well, we're in a different culture these days, and we've got to learn to understand how is it the athlete wants to learn, how is it the athlete wants to be communicated with. And I liken it to, if you like, passing a ball in a game. I can make the mistake of giving you, Jimson, the pass I want to give you, but I've actually got to know what is the pass that you like to receive so that you can use it. And that's how I see communication. And incidentally, getting that right make sure that we don't have conflict in the first place.
Okay, no, it's true. But the thing is, with social media, it really amplifies any kind of negative news, unfortunately. When things go well, no one complains. When things go bad, things happen. People change coaches, they complain, and it hits social media. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So we'll accept it. Now, the problem I think we have today is that we have way too many levels of people. We have beginners, we got the development, and we got like high performance people. You can't coach people the same way across the board, and we can't coach different genders the same way. As a male coach, I can't coach my 14-year-old females the same way.
Absolutely
Anything
right.
I say will be microscoped. If I ask someone to take their weight, that's it, boom, I'm suspended, I'm out for 2 years. What are your thoughts on that, Frank?
Well, I think I'll come to that part about safeguarding in a second, but coming back to your first point, we have athletes who are beginners, we have athletes who are developers, we have athletes who are high performers. And actually the skills that a coach requires in coaching these groups is quite different. Now, we're in a world today where physical education is kind of going out the window. And when kids come to the club for the first time, we are having to do the kind of things that physical educationists were trying to do before. And so it's our job now to create functional movement, to create the foundation that will allow athletes to grow. And when you were thinking about beginners, imagine your school journey. One of the most specialized areas of teaching is the teacher to infants. What I'd like to see coach education moving towards is that there should be a special stream for coach development to allow them to become world-class as coaches to beginners, world-class to coaches to developers or high performers. In other words, let's get away from this model of giving beginner coaches to beginner athletes. That's fatal. It's absolutely fatal. But coming back to my point here, we really need to change the nature of education and development of those coaches who are working with beginners. Why? Because they're either starting the athlete off on a journey through one day maybe to an Olympic podium, but what percentage of kids are going to do that? If that's not going to work, what we at least must be able to do is prepare them to have an active life plan so that they'll have an active life all the way through and they fall in love with physical activity from the beginning. And let's hope we can make them fall in love with something that's related to track and field.
And I think we need to remember that once they become good in track and field, they can change sports. Once they get speed, power, and strength, they can become, track runners. They become football players, rugby players. It's the foundation for all sports, and I think we really should start driving that. But going back to the education part, there's no structured course out there other than level 1, level 2, level 3. Can we do more for the program other than just basic courses? Is there Frank, what do you think?
Well, I think we have to start off with the tools of the trade, and I'll call that the science, the things you can be taught. Mm-hmm. You do these in courses and so on. That gets you into the game. But the real art of coaching comes through life experience. We're chatting today to Jimmy Radcliffe. In my opinion, one of the greatest strength and conditioning coaches on the planet across all sports, by the way. And we were talking about the idea of making sure that kids have this foundational stuff in order to develop.
No, it's true. So let's start with some young kids. Let's start with the development of kids. And the thing is, we've seen some 17, 18, 19-year-olds do really well at the world youth, or world junior level. We have like Mahuchik, the high jumper, who I believe won at the age of 17.
204 at that point.
24, and then she won, she medaled in 2019, and she won a silver today. So how do we make sure that the success of these young athletes at the youth or junior level succeed to the senior level or open level?
Okay, well, I'm going to sound controversial now. A lot of coaches talk about talent selection and talent ID, so that we can get kids into around about the age of 15 and 16 to high performance academies, and we drive them through. actually that is absolutely counterproductive. For sure, that kind of process will get you medals at the age of 19, but the chances of medaling thereafter are pretty low. I mean, you'll know the statistics better than I do, but less than 10% of the athletes who medal at the age of 19 in the World Championships will medal as seniors. Now, you mentioned just a few seconds ago the idea of, we develop kids for track and field, but they might go somewhere else. Of course, the reverse is also true. We can get them back in again. But one of the keys, if you wish to have long-term development where the athletes will get success at the senior level, you should start off with multiple sports through to the ages of 15, 16, 17. Because on that foundation, there's a balance of conditioning in the kids, and there's also different motor patterns that they can build on, and it gives them a platform that allows them to get into the senior years. Again, what are the ages we're preparing them for? Well, we know that 60% of the medals at the Olympics and the World Championships are won between the ages of 24 and 28. We know that 85% are won between 22 and 30. That's what you're aiming for. You shouldn't be thinking, hey, let's get gold medals at the age of 19, because you're probably aiming to get the athlete out of the sport by that time.
No, I think it's good to note that we've had some athletes who've crossed over. Like we have Abby Steiner, a soccer player or football player in England, who's now a good 200-meter sprinter. We got the reverse. We have Devin Allen, who should have been in the finals and competed and challenged for a medal, who's going to play NFL football now. So I think that's great to see that diversity. But I think personally, because I know a lot of coaches, I know a lot of personal trainers, I know a lot of S&C coaches, I think we're specializing too early. 100%. I know a lot of personal trainers who are paid to coach high school kids, and their parents have money, and they already go to school, they already have a phys ed teacher or PE teacher, whatever it's called here, yet they are shuffled into a private gym 2, 3, 4 times a week, doing all this funky stuff, TheraBands, Swiss balls, jumping off 6-foot platforms. What are your thoughts on specializing too early?
Well, that's just the point I've been making.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly the point I've been making.
But I think we need to really put that in the coaching program. I think we need to start enforcing that in our development courses. We really need to do that.
Well, if you go back to the old days of the Warsaw Pact countries and so on, there was an agreement there, particularly, it started off in Hungary, were the first nation to do this, and it was picked up by the DDR and so on. And that was that you weren't allowed to do specific events until you were 16. Up to that point, there were teams of pentathlon athletes, and the neat idea about that was there was going to be an endurance event in there. There was going to be an agility event, hurdles. There was going to be a speed event. There was going to be a throwing event for power, and a jumping event. So within that, the conditioning, in addition to the different movement patterns, we're actually preparing people for long-term development.
No, I think it's pretty important that we start, really looking at the whole program. And I think one thing that we have right now, or what we don't have, is regulation. I think, anybody can put their name on a business card and say coach. Even I can do that. I can say Jimson Lee, speedendurance.com, head coach, and that's it. Anybody can be a coach. I don't have to do an exam. I don't have to do a bar exam. I don't have to do a 2-year, stage. I mean, is that crazy or what?
No, it's a really good point. And one of the things we're doing with the academy at the moment, and actually the study's continuing here, we're asking all the coaches with the national teams what their background is. Do they have a basic coaching qualification? Do they have CPD credits? How often are they practicing? Do they have something to do with safeguarding in their education? Do they have a code of conduct? All that kind of stuff. And what we're discovering from Nairobi, then Belgrade, and even today is that, and you'll be very disappointed in this, guys out there. You'll be surprised that sometimes as much as 10% of the coaches don't have a coaching qualification. Something like 25% don't have a coach's code of conduct. And I find that worrying, really worrying, because who are the people who are getting the accredited at these events? Huh? Who are the people who are getting accredited at these events? Sometimes it's somebody's girlfriend. Sometimes it's somebody's best friend's son, and because they want them to come to the World Championships, and I think that's terrible. And I think we owe it to the coaching profession that we set minimum standards when people get accredited to come to a World Championships. After all, the kids who come here are pretty selective, aren't they? We've selected them very carefully. They've got to meet certain criterion. Well, I think the coaches, we ourselves, in order to protect our profession, we owe it to the profession to have basic or minimum standards.
No, absolutely. I think because we're both accredited and we're both sitting in the stands and we have access to a lot of places that fans don't get, and we actually see a lot of shenanigans going on. Some has made the news, and some we just sort of turn a blind eye. We hope security takes care of it, but we do got to be really careful. And I think, that kind of leads me to the point. And I think, when it comes down to people safety, you just don't know. I think we just need a better program, a better like international charter.
Okay, let me pick up on that. If we can get a set of basic criteria to get to be accredited, I think the next stage after that is to move towards the sense of an international license. Now, very disappointingly, folks, there are some coaches who don't get it right. They misbehave, they can even abuse people, and we really don't want these people in the sport. That has to be sorted out. And a license would help us, an international license would help us in that. I mean, it's not unknown for a coach to misbehave, get banned, move to another country and do exactly the same thing, because there's no sort of transfer of understanding of people's misdemeanors and so on. That's got to be sorted out in a license. The other aspect of license and regulation is that when we come to these coaches who misbehave, there has to be rules, right? There has to be an understanding of what they can or can't do. But it also works the other way around. I mean, sometimes coaches get abused. Yeah. And when it comes to safeguarding, absolutely right, we must safeguard the athletes, we must safeguard everybody through the sport, and World Athletics is leading the game because they're looking at safeguarding on the whole. But we need now to be far more careful on how we protect coaches from false accusations and protect coaches from bullying themselves. So I think you're right to touch on this subject. Safeguarding is something we must look very deeply at. And by the way, if you've got any issues on this, please let us know at Global Athletics Coaching Academy, because we can take that to the coaches forum with World Athletics and raise them there.
No, there is so much controversy, and unfortunately that makes the news, from positive drug tests to anything technical changes like the reaction times, and we'll get to that in a bit. But just before we move on to that, I want to talk more about what other organizations can we look into. I know we have our area organizations, but after that, let's talk more about the Coaches Forum. I know there's a lot of rule changes, like the coaches situation, the coaches box, how they have one in, they swap, or even the relays practice. It's in another part of town at LCC. So what are some ideas that we can talk about to get Coaches Forum, more better known and more utilized?
Well, you're right, and I think one of the things we will really have to agree about out here, guys, is that too often we'll have arguments about what the sport should or shouldn't be doing, and we'll have a grumble here and a grumble there, like these two guys from the Muppets, and that goes. But we don't do anything about it, right? We just talk, and we don't. Well, what's happened now with the GACA is that you have a conduit, either from your National Coaches Association or from your Area Coaches Association. You can feed through your concerns so that we actually communicate with each other and find solutions to the problems we're identifying. It really is an irritant, because it happens to me very often when we're having board meetings or meetings with coaches, it happens so often that people will say the problem is here, and this. Give me solutions, folks. We should be talking together and finding solutions together to get rid of the grumbles. You know, we're far. Maybe the problem is that track and field is an individual sport, and we're not accustomed to actually working together. I think I said the other night that one of the things I'd like us to consider is a word that I coined this thing, co-opetition. We as coaches are supposed to compete with each other. In fact, our development is about helping us to be better at competing with each other. But if we wish coaching to grow, we have to talk to each other. There are concepts out there that, I mean, even sitting in here, the RunnerSpace here, I think is fantastic for guys coming up with ideas and so on. Let's pull these things together and put them up towards the sport so that we're not grumblers, we are solution finders.
I think it's great when you can coach the controllables, but unfortunately in March 2020 we had this crazy little virus called COVID, and that disrupted everything. It disrupted my life, your life, everyone's life, and the end result is that this World Championship should have been last year, right? It should have been on an odd year. It's called Oregon 22, and now for us, because I live in England and so does Frank, we also have Commonwealth Games coming. After the closing ceremonies on Sunday, we're bolting back to England to get Commonwealth Games. Some of us are competing and coaching in the European Championships in Munich. So we have a lot of competition. Maybe that's why we're seeing a lot of up and down races. I don't know, but Frank, what are your thoughts about 5 years of craziness?
Well, absolutely. Let's jump back in time. You all know the concept of periodization, right? Periodization grew from track and field. A lot of other sports use it now, but we periodize the year of periods of preparation, periods of competition, periods of recovery, and we got that clear. However, because the cycle of international competition has changed, we've got 5 years back-to-back of World Championships here. And one thing we knew before we ever got to this 5 years, that, for example, if you looked at the World Championships, Olympic Games, and World Championships sequence that happened within every 4-year cycle, less than 6 athletes were able to get gold medals in all 3. Now tonight, I think we saw another example of that. I think that Ingebrigtsen is a pretty good athlete, but I'm not sure if he can sustain, nor can any athlete, year after year of being at the very top of the tree. And I'm wondering if periodization now shouldn't become tactical. Certainly it's tactical in NFL, it's tactical in rugby, it's tactical in a lot of sports, but we tend not to think of it as a tactical thing in track and field. I'd like us to do that. For example, we're accustomed to giving rest periods in the microcycle of a week's program, or the mesocycle of 6 weeks programs and so on, or the macrocycle of 2 or 3 months. But what if we actually looked at the concept of taking a year off, a complete year off within an Olympic 4-year period? Now, what's the problem with that? Whoa, well, come on now, Frank. The athletes have got to earn their money. They have to be out there competing every year. Well, if you put that together with the fact that the federations are going to be picking on the same athletes to compete year after year after year for 5 years, I think we're going to burn out a generation. Worse still, because the same athletes will be homed in on and want to stay later in the sport than they ever did before, where's the new generation of kids going to get their experience to grow and last in the sport? So I think we've now, whether it's at member federation level, whether it's at personal level in terms of coaching, we've got to be tactical, and we've got to understand, coming back to my point about recovery, adaptation happens during recovery, not during the imposition of the stimulus.
Yeah, I think this is great, but I think sometimes we overthink this. I think, well, we were lucky because we had Kirani James coach Harvey Glantz at our session earlier yesterday and today, and he spoke a lot about Karani James. Now, for those who don't know the 400 meters, Karani won a gold in 2012, he won a silver in 2016 in Rio, and then he won bronze in 21 or Tokyo 20. And we also seen stories like Steve Lewis, you know, back in 88, 92, he was out for 2 years. So I think there's a place for extended rest. I think we shouldn't rush athletes back. Luckily, we're not in football where we have concussions to deal with. But I mean, there's other examples, Frank, that we've seen extended rest can really succeed.
Absolutely, but here's the problem, Jimson. I bet if you went round here, or if we listen to any of the guys out there who are listening, I bet if you challenged them to give you the stimuluses, exercises, and so on, they would give a zillions. If you asked everybody, give me examples of a range of things that facilitate recovery, I bet we wouldn't come up with too many. I bet we wouldn't come up with too many. Because, well, have a sleep, you know. Yeah. Take some vitamin juice or whatever. And I think we've got to look at that a lot more closely. And I'm looking forward to the time when somewhere around the world we have an annual symposium that looks at recovery.
Yep. No, absolutely. Recovery and regeneration is just the lost secret of success. I think sleep is free, right? Just sleep 2 more hours a night. It's free. You know, put down your iPhone before bed and sleep an hour early. That's free. But people just want a quick pill, magic fix. They'll pay any money for it, any gadget, any pill, and that's sad. But let's focus on technical changes because we have like 15 minutes left in the program, maybe 20. I want to talk technique, but before we do, let's talk about, because you mentioned Ingebrigtsen. You mentioned, you know, if I was to go to Ladbrokes Coral, which is a betting company in England, I would have bet my money on Jakob. I would have bet, you know, 500 pounds, he's going to win. And he didn't. And the thing is, we had what some people think is a dark horse or unknown person, but Frank, I think we know Jake Whiteman, well known in England.
I think we shouldn't take away from Jake Whiteman what was a magnificent run tonight. I mean, that was a really good, gutsy effort. But it didn't happen overnight.
No.
Right? It didn't happen overnight. And I think we as to develop three characteristics: persistence, resilience, and patience. Okay? And a lot of people dismiss the idea of patience, but that lad's been working towards this for several years. But of course, every now and again you'll get a youngster like Ingebrigtsen, who just comes out of being a teenager or whatever and is world class. But for most endurance athletes, it will take a bit of time. And the reason it takes time is when you go into a competition as an endurance athlete, and I remember this back in the days when I was the head coach in the UK, I was really lucky. Steve Cram, Steve Ovett, Sebastian Coe, we had some fantastic endurance athletes at that time. And working with Seb, I remember his dad saying that you've got to work hard to be complete. And what he meant by that is race at the bottom line, when you come to a great championships like this, and again, congratulations Eugene, congratulations Oregon for a fantastic stadium and a really outstanding competition out here. When you come here, it's about races for places in the track events. It's races for places. It's not a world where you're going to get paced as you go. You know, when you on the circuit kind of stuff. When you're going for a maximum time, it's about how you can make tactical judgments during the race. Now that takes a lot of time to learn the tactics. That's part of being complete. But on the other hand, if you can't accelerate, if you can't deliver a tactic down the home straight to outkick everybody, if you can't take a long run in, if you can't run from the gun, then you're going to get caught out. And so to get to that point of completeness, as Seb's dad would say, you have to learn that over a number of years. On a 4-year cycle, you might decide that in year 1 you're going to work on some aspect, this or that aspect of tactic. By the time you get to year 4 and you're going to Olympic Games, and World Championships, it's about finesse. It's about the final bits of polish. But it takes a stage after stage to get there. And talking about stages, one of the things that Jimmy Radcliffe and I were talking about today is that a lot of coaches get it into their head that the whole business is a linear progression. But it's not. There's no aspect of physical performance that is linear. It goes in steps. There's a period of acceleration. There's a period of consolidation, acceleration. But that doesn't. The same steps don't apply across everything. For example, speed. For example, power. For example, endurance. The steps are different, and they move at different times. And it's a wise coach that works that out so that they can get the step phrases right. And I honestly believe that kids like Jake, kids like Ingebrigtsen, he'll learn as he goes forward, because he's not going to go away. And all the other kids in the tactical races, you've got to be complete, and that takes time.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we're seeing at the Coaches Club, which is every day at 12:30 at the School of Music or the Beale Concert Hall, we're seeing longevity in coaching. So what happens that when we get a gold medal winning performance, that coach comes into our club and speaks for an hour. And we've had success with like Randy Huntington, the long jump coach and he showed us how long it took for Wang, the jumper, to get good. Like he had him for 8, 9, 10 years. Today we had Sharon Hannon. She had Sally Pearson for 14 years. And we've seen so many cases. We had Harvey Glantz with Karani James since 2012. So I think there's success breeds success. And if you just trust your coach, stay for a long time, you'll see something. And tonight, I think, with Jake Whiteman, we saw success of sticking with your coach and having the patience, having the trust, and winning.
Okay, you're right. A very good friend of mine at home, a fellow Scot. And by the way, Jake Whiteman's a Scot.
That's correct.
Another fellow Scot was a guy called Alex Ferguson. I don't know if you follow soccer, but he's a pretty good coach. And I remember Alex coming to speak to some coaches and athletes about 3 years ago, and he said, the two things that the coach must be on top of when they're working with their athletes is how you manage failure, but also how you manage success. Most of us understand that if things have gone wrong, we work hard on that to get the athlete lifted up. The other side of that, however, is, and we always talk about success breeding success. My mum told me that when I was a tiny boy. But the fact is, if you're not, and it's called complacency, if things are going really good, you take your eye off the ball and your shoulders come back a little bit, One of the biggest mistakes you can make in endurance athletes in athletics is to take the lead and slow it all down. Because the moment you do that, you're telling the opposition that you can't cope with the pace. I remember Liz McColgan back in 1991. Durati Tulu was tailing her up until about 5 laps to go. And then out of nowhere, Tulu had enough because Liz was killing everybody. She went through, and the moment she got in front, she slowed the whole thing down. Well, Liz saw this straight away. She gave her about 150 meters of that, then went past, and the race was over. She destroyed them.
No, I think, that's great stories, and I think we need more of these stories. I think we need, the media to start picking up that, track or athletics is a wonderful sport. I think we just don't have the exposure we deserve. Well, we do, but it's only 16 days every 4 years, and then no one really cares about track and field or athletics. So I think what we need is some change in the sport, because we have like 10 minutes left of the program. So I'll just talk about some changes. And here in Oregon, everyone's talking about the reaction time false start rule. Devin Allen false started 0.099. The rule is 0.10. He got DQ'd by 0.01. What do you think they should do with the false start rule?
No, I think the scientists must review that. They really must review that. And talking about change, and don't ask me how they'll review it, because I'm not the scientist stuff. But there must be a reason. There has to be a line at some point, right? But I'm wondering if they've got the right line. Maybe it should be. There's a different dimension has to come to that. But we're talking about change. World Athletics, once upon a time, had a World Youth Championships as well as a junior, as well as a senior. And then they decided not to have it. And I think every coach, every self-respecting coach understood, hey, youth championships at world level are really, that's over-gilding things. But you know, there is a problem at the moment in how we bridge the gap from being having huge potential as a 19-year-old at World Championships, and whether you're going to still be there at the age of 22, 23 when we come into these age groups that we've spoken about. And I'm wondering, folks, and I'd really appreciate if you can get back to me with your ideas on this. I'm wondering if we shouldn't have a World Under-23 Championships. I know that quite a few of the areas are now doing it, but an under 23 at world level makes a lot more sense, even than a World Junior title, because it's going to help us bridge up, keep these athletes committed and involved to make the bridge through to the seniors.
Well, we sort of have that with the World Student Games.
Yeah, but not everybody's a student.
That's true. That is true. So let's get on to some other changes, because this has been a recurring theme in the whole 5 days we've been here. How about women's decathlon? Should we scrap the heptathlon and do 10 events and force every heptathlete to learn pole vault overnight?
Yeah, well, to be quite honest, I don't have a real firm opinion one way or the other. But I thought it was funny the other day when we were discussing it that somebody said, well, the heptathletes wouldn't agree with it. Well, they wouldn't, would they? They wouldn't, would they? And yet, if you think what's been happening over the years, once upon a time, nobody ran further than 400 meters for women. And then once upon a time, triple jump was thought to be too severe for them. And once upon a time, we didn't have hammer. Once upon a time, we didn't have pole vault. Well, what's stopping us going to decathlon? I mean, it's certainly a lot more severe, and we know that the pole vault, for example, can take a bit out of people, and discus might add another dimension to that. But at least I think it would be worth a shot. I know some people are doing that already. Okay, I'm aware some athletes are doing that already. Not too many of the present heptathletes, but again, they wouldn't, would they?
No, true. But I think one reason why the women's pole vault, women's hammer, women's triple jump, and the women's 400-meter hurdles, one reason why those 4 events are really exciting is because world records are getting broken easily, right? I guarantee you Sydney McLaughlin will break a world record on this track, in this heat. If the wind's favorable, I think she'll break it. Another reason that's affecting her sport is that the sprint events are questionable world records. The 400 meters is 47.60. I don't know a lot of guys who can run 47.60. So I think once we break the barrier of those old East German or questionable records, I think the women's events might start taking off.
Well, just sticking on that 400 meters women's world record, I was the chief coach for the European team at the World Cup in Canberra for that competition. And the remarkable thing is, and I'm not sure if this story has gone out before. The remarkable thing was that in the warm-up area, 2 hours before the event, she came onto the warm-up track with the coach, and with a 10-minute interval between, she ran 22 seconds rolling start and 22 seconds rolling start. So it wasn't 10 minutes; it was 4 minutes between. Then she went out and she smashed the world record. Now, coaches out there, why? Why would you do that session? And I don't have the answer, by the way, and I think I'm reasonably smart at these things. I've still not worked out why. Any thoughts on that, Jimson?
Well, I know as a 400-meter coach and sprinter, my magic warm-up is a near all-out 150 meters about 20 minutes before the race. You have enough time to rebuild your ATP-CP, not too much lactate in that time, and it just loosens you up. The only problem, I did that once, and they called the race early by 15 minutes, and that didn't work out. That was a disaster. But okay, so.
But just coming back to 400 meters, we've now got 3 athletes in history who've run inside 10, inside 20, and inside 44, and I think there's going to be quite a few more like that, because I think a lot of people would call 400 meters an endurance event rather than a sprint. You might not, but quite a few people would. But it is a sprint, and I think since the core of sprinting is 100 meters or the shorter distance, I'm wondering how many 400 meters athletes in the future, men and women, are going to look at that speed base as the foundation rather than the constant work on speed endurance, the anaerobic quotients and so on.
Well, I can tell you one thing, that the 1, 2, 4 for both men's and women's, just getting into the next round, it's getting harder and harder and harder to make it to the next round. So the playing field is really getting better. So if you want to be a world-class athlete, you really start getting better numbers. And
so just lingering again on the sprints and the fact that we're going through new technologies at the moment, particularly shoes on tracks and so on. I understand now, but I don't have the data, Jimson, that there is an increase in the number of injuries that are taking place in the sprints athletes. And I don't know at the moment if that's something to do with the shoes, but it's coincided with the introduction of these shoes. One of the issues, of course, that for every coach and every athlete who's involved in sprints is that athletes always want to get back yesterday. You know, if they're injured, they want to get back yesterday. And I think there's a huge danger now of trying to do that with the shoes that we have.
No, I think so too, and that with the track surface is really starting to show some definite improvement in athletes' performances.
Yep.
The shoes, and I think anyone who's listening, I highly recommend to come to the Coaches Club on Thursday. We have Peter Thompson speaking about the shoe technology, and it's a wonderful hour, and it will be recorded, but it's also live on Zoom. So please join in for that as well. How about a few more controversies? Like, we've seen, long jump no longer use a judge for the board, and with plasticine, now they're using electronics. What are your thoughts? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I think the only sort of questionable part about it is the plastic. That it's actually quite dangerous if the athlete overshoots and hits the hard plastic, because one of these days the foot will slip and somebody's going to have quite an injury there. But I'm still not convinced about the breaking of that, the breaking of the beam, because I kind of get the impression that sometimes it's being broken almost after the athlete's done the final movement.
Exactly, and I think also when we had Mike Powell and Randy Huntington speak, they said that the takeoff is like 23 degrees, ideally. So you have to look at your foot placement, and you better make sure that you don't cross that line at 23 degrees. So I think they need a lot of tweaking. And like I said, let's look at it. Okay, one last thing. Let's talk about the mixed relays. They changed the rule this year with the order. Not the order, it has to be men, women, and you can make only one change now. Before you have 6 people, now you have 5 people. What do you think?
Well, I'm one of these coaches who is suspicious. I think almost there's a conspiracy going on here somewhere, and I'm wondering if they're trialing the one change in that relay in order to introduce it to the other relays.
Oh, well, that will cause a lot of challenges, I think. Well, back in the days, it was only 4 guys all through the rounds, one injury and you're gone home. So, no, I think this sport is wonderful, but I think there's a lot of room for change, not only for the rules of track, but also for the athletes and for the coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. And just lingering with the relays, not every federation is doing this, Jimson, but I know in the UK, I know in Italy, I know in France, that they now have special programs for the relay athletes. And so, and athletes will get their year's stipend or whatever based on being a member of a relay team rather than on their individual events.
Yeah. Well, I think if we start talking about finances and contracts and sponsorship, that's a whole nother talk. So we can save that for another time. So Frank, we got to wrap up now. It's been great speaking to you again. Any final thoughts on tonight's program on some of the topics that I addressed?
No, not really, but what I would like to say, Jimson, is that I do appreciate, as on behalf of the Global Athletics Coaching Academy, I do appreciate the opportunity that you've given myself and Jimson to be with you and to share some of our ideas. Thanks for bringing us here.
Yeah, and thanks again to Wild Duck Cafe for having this. Thank you, RunnerSpace.com. And so for Jimson Lee and Frank Dick, again, thank you. Please join us at the Coaches Club We're there 3 hours a day at the School of Music. And thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of the games.
Thank you. And we're only halfway, guys. Day 5. Thank you.